Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia. Welcome back to the TNT podcast episode wrapping up 2021. Or sorry, what did you say last year's episode name was, Freeman?
Sorry, say that again. Everyone's talking over each other.
What was last year's episode name for the end of the closing out?
Last year's was just Goodbye 2020.
Okay, goodbye. Welcome to episode Goodbye 2021.
AKA episode 142 of the TNT podcast.
An equally rejectable year number.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, we are here to sum up our year of 2021 with various forms of entertainment and media that we consumed, and then some anime news, and then stuff we did in the last week that isn't good enough to be on our list for the year, but it's stuff we did. So, but obviously it's not just me listing this stuff off. There are other people here, including, am I right?
Friedman, also known as Andrew, but mostly known as Friedman.
And left.
Just Tyler.
and across.
The amazing AIDS. Praise the sun.
Oh, is Dark Souls your game of the year? Elden Ring didn't come out yet, and we can't play.
I can't say Demon Souls because Demon Souls was a launch title last year.
You can. Oh my god! All right. So, for context for everybody, so we have our best of the year lists. We all roughly put like 2 to 4 things in for 3 categories: anime, game, and movie. And Tyler, being the galaxy brain that he is, also is going to talk about books.
Hell yeah!
So I read a depressingly small number of books this year, but the question is, guys, do we want to go by type or by person?
Let's do by type.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So we'll start with the thing we ever talk about on this podcast, the manime.
Japanime.
Japanimation.
Let's go.
That weeb shit. Let's go.
That weeb shit.
Oh man, if we were all in person, I would say we should do Chwazi to figure out who goes first for each of these things.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
But no, we'll just go as we have it in the show notes. So, Friedman, as the resident expert, and somehow you put less anime than me on this, or Tyler.
Oh no, so I didn't put anime I'd seen on the list that you guys are seeing because it would be, I think I saw like close to 80 shows this year. It was an insane number with a lot of stinkers, but a lot of really good ones. So it made it tricky to boil down what was going to be the best. When I wrote down the list, I was like, it's definitely between Attack on Titan and Jobless Reincarnation until I was going through the list and I was like, oh shit. Quintessential Quintuple Season 2 was early this year. 10 out of 10, let's go. But no, Quintuplets is not my anime of the year. I still think everyone should watch it. But it boiled down to Attack on Titan versus Jobless Reincarnation. And it was, ironically enough, because I had recently started showing a friend Attack on Titan, and Tim, you were there for 4 of the 5 episodes we shown her. But I realized a lot of what made the last season of Attack on Titan so good was it was just the payoff from previous seasons. And when I looked at what this season itself was doing, animation-wise, story-wise, character-wise, I didn't like it 100%. Like that package, I didn't like as much as previous seasons of Attack on Titan. I think that the way it fits into the series is phenomenal. It's a great show. But compared to what Jobless Reincarnation did in 24 episodes, and how much it changed, not how I look at isekai anime, but it opened my eyes to the fact not all isekai is garbage. Yes, I've already sat through most of the good ones. It always feels like there's nothing good that's going to come out of isekai again until Jobless Reincarnation rolled around and said, hey, let's tell a reincarnation story where that fucking matters and where the whole world is interesting and where the animation's really nice and we have a flexible production schedule, don't fuck up the show, and have 2 seasons in a year with the 3rd on the way, and just I realize I'm gassing the show up, but honestly, this was the show where day it comes out, it's all right, I'm gonna sit down and watch it at lunch because I genuinely want to watch this anime and find out what's happening to Rudy next week.
Thank you for reminding me that Book of Boba Fett comes out tomorrow, so I have to make sure I find time to watch that tomorrow morning.
No problem. Now I need to watch that. Anyway, so that said, Jobless Reincarnation was my anime of the year.
Sweet.
Ooh.
Do you have a third place or another? Just those 2 are the ones you want to mention?
Give me 2 seconds, I can tell you my third place was. I was just trying to do top 2 for most of these on mine, so I didn't really think
you can stick with that format. So for those at home, I at least pushed for a format of first place winner and then 2 runners up. I was kind of stealing, I think, what Giant Bomb does, if I remember correctly from listening to their podcasts over the years, or they did at least. That was always their game of the year stuff, was like for categories and things like that. So that's kind of what I tried to follow. But Freeman, if you don't have another one,
Real
that's
quick,
fine.
I was like, all right, looking at score, what is the next highest thing rated? The next highest thing I rated was a 10 out of 10 for Quintessential Quintuplet Season 2. So unironically,
yeah, brother,
number
let's
3 is the
go.
Quints. Like, all right, hold on, I'm gonna use my last chance to gas up the Quints here. So every other anime has like the harem story going on, and it's always bullshit. It's always all these girls are in one-on-one situations with the main character where they're all just being tsunderes and nothing's happening. In this show, all 5 girls in the harem are openly competing with each other for this guy's affection, and he's just like, okay, I'm here, I'm present, I'm a plot device, and it's like he's not the main character. He's just fucking there. The main characters are the 5 girls competing and how their relations with each other and this one guy they happen to be in a loose harem with matter. And like I've watched Love Hina, I've watched all the old ones, and none of them come close to being as just like entertaining and engaging of a harem anime. Like all the others, all bullshit. Quintessential quintuplets.
Freeman, I'm just imagining like if you're, I think you mentioned that your brother sometimes listens to this, right?
Yes.
I can just imagine your brother.
He's like, this is not advertiser friendly.
This is not advertiser. But you know what though? Like I will, because spoiler, and I'll talk about like more in depth, but like I agree with Freeman. I have seen not like a plethora, right, of like harem. Like I have read some out of like curiosity, and like they're all kind of the same. Like Negima, Love Hina, those guys are the same writer.
Yeah.
Like, but they have like the same thing. Like Tenchi Muyo, like you have like it's all about the guy, and all the girls are like super one-dimensional. Like no one cares, but like throughout both seasons, each and every person, not even just the main character, they go through like all this character development, and like turns out one of the people that I fucking hated in the first season, I'm like, this person's all right. And like a person who I thought was great, I'm like, yo, she's worse than like, I don't know, she's like almost as bad as Dio. Like it's terrible.
Jesus.
Dude, you know the memes of someone like drawing a horse, and the start of the horse is really nice and the end is really shitty, and then there's always the meme where it's like the horse is just great throughout. I look at how I view Miku on this show, and I'm just like, perfect horse throughout. Always always the everyone else changes. Miku is always perfect.
Miku is literally this is perfect. I like this. This is good, but I like this. Miku is perfect. Oh man, but yeah, I can get into more of that, but I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in because I just agree.
Oh,
Stellar character writing.
All right, now I'm done talking about my anime. Someone else can talk about their top 3.
Anime. Star Wars Visions, baby.
Some Western
counts.
shit. Well, actually, I can't say that. Yeah,
no. Star Wars Visions was
legit.
specifically all anime studios. Like,
yes, just Disney just did the dub for it. That's all it was.
Man, there was some good stuff in there, and it was Star Wars, and it was
which one was your favorite though?
The first one. What
the first one was pretty hot.
The Ronin dude, the Sith killer.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. That was a pretty cool one. I should have known because you got a shirt of that.
Yes, I did. So, I have a shirt of that episode.
Really cool.
Yep, I bought it when I was down in we were in Disney Springs, and it was like pretty much right after Visions came out, I think.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Visions, top quality stuff. And other than that, I mean, like, I didn't really watch any other anime this year because I'm bad, except like Cells at Work and some other shit. The only one
played
that
like 1,000 times more games that came out this year than anybody else.
Also, did you watch like Ghost of Hunter x Hunter this year? Like, it's not like you didn't watch anime.
We did watch
like,
all of Hunter x Hunter this year.
Why didn't I put that? You're right.
You haven't gone yet. Right. You have time, Tyler.
You're
no,
right.
It's Cells at Work was just like the fun. I don't have to like. You know,
did you watch season 1?
This is just a fun, enjoyable. That's the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
I
No, it's
I
fine
didn't
because
watch
season
Block
2
yet.
came out this year, but we didn't. It's not on my list, not on Friedman's. So
Oh, I gotta watch that. Oh, that was my happy-go-lucky fun anime to watch, and it was also educational.
Wait, are you familiar with Cells at Work Black after hearing us talk about it?
No, we're not. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about. I don't want the depression and the office
Yo,
anxiety.
It's
let me
worth it for
tell
the
you,
last, though.
the scene that I walked in on, legendary.
oh, it's so incredible.
Oh God.
I was like, wait a minute, are they giving this guy an erection? Everybody starts dying. I was like, they are, aren't they? Oh no.
Explain anything to you. We're just like,
You
you
know-
have to watch the scene and figure it out.
You know,
And then
one of-
there was the red blood cell who was like basically just the atypical like vet smoking a cigarette like sometimes they just don't make it. What are you talking about? Of course they're gonna go on and produce life. Sometimes just that's not what it's about, kid. And then just walks away like, what do you mean?
you know,
It's so stupid.
one of the YouTubers I watched does music reviews, and in his top of the year, he's usually like, "This is the best and worst seconds in music of the year." I just want I could definitely see that scene being in best anime scene of the year running right there.
Dude. It's right. It's
Best
right
5
up
minutes
there
of anime is
with the Juju Kaisen scene, the baseball scene, where what's his face gets
Oh
hit
my
in the
God.
face.
Oh my god, yes.
Didn't that scene
Nice
come out this
hit,
year? That scene
nice
could
hit,
probably count.
nice hit.
The scene aired in 2021, yes.
No, it's nice peach, nice peach.
Nice pitch, nice pitch, nice pitch. Literally one of my favorite scenes of all time. Oh man.
Hold on, real quick tangent, just because it's about that episode. There was
Oh,
a thread on
jeez.
Reddit the other day about like, what's the worst filler episode in anime? And someone types out the baseball episode of Jujutsu Kaisen,
Oh,
and the comments like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? This is the only filler episode, and it was phenomenal."
Actually, and I don't say that a lot
Nope.
ever. Nice
Dang.
peach, nice pitch,
Nice
nice
peach.
pitch.
Toto, I think everyone hates you. Or Bruzza.
Bruzza.
He's the best character.
Oh my god.
I think he stole the cover of my other Weeb friends group chat. It's just the clapping.
The clap.
And you want to talk about this third one that's not anime, but it's anime?
No,
I guess?
the council agreed that this was anime.
It was not a unanimous decision.
Yeah, but it's on mine and Aiden's list.
You didn't vote, so that's not my problem.
What the hell? Okay.
What anime?
Arcane. The anime Arcane
Stellar.
is good. It's really
Did you
good.
finish it yet?
I finished it. I watched all of it like
Fuck
probably
yeah.
3 days ago.
Fuck yeah.
So
Tyler, did
I
you finish it
watched
yet?
the.
Sorry, say that again.
I was asking if Tyler finished it yet.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I've
Freeman,
done
you were the
been
one who was
seeing
still
Once
working
again,
on
it is I who is slacking.
Wow. Okay, whatever. Aiden, what did you think?
Yeah, because it's Westaboo shit.
Oh my
It was really, really, really good. Like in pretty much every way imaginable.
Mhm.
Like the animation was absolutely stellar. The voice work was fantastic. All of the characters were like, for the most part, really well written and had appropriate motivations for the things that are going on. I have one minor complaint, and it is a relationship that seems to appear just kind of like that, and it doesn't make sense.
Who are you talking about? Not with.
Why? Like
Sorry, should I
No,
leave?
no, never mind.
Does it involve Jace?
no.
Oh. See, that's what I was thinking too, Tyler. But
No, that
Oh
one.
no, you're
no,
talking about
You
with...
know exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah, yeah,
I don't understand.
yeah. With Jinx.
No.
You know.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
What?
With
Then what are you
Jinx?
talking about?
Nothing there.
That means a lot. But you said no to me though.
Aiden, can you?
Yes, there's
don't
another
understand.
one.
All right,
It's
whatever.
There's
alluded
another
to.
one. What the?
No, we'll
what?
talk about it.
Should I
in
just
the
leave?
No, it's fine.
I
It's
don't
fine. Let's
know,
just skip it. It's
screw
fine.
it.
It's fine. Aiden had one
Bro,
minor
it's fine.
complaint, but
We
it's
don't wanna-
overall.
yeah,
an
it was a
excellent show.
minor complaint. That's like literally the
I was gonna
least
say because
significant
Jinx
thing
is
about
my
it.
complaint.
We can talk
That's
about
my
it.
complaint.
No, that was actually a really good plot device.
I didn't like it anyway. I don't
That's
care how
the
good
point.
it was.
You're not
I
supposed to like
know.
it, and that's why it was good.
And I'm sorry, listeners, for being vague.
Oh, you're saying relationship, not just.
I'm leaving. Talk about the spoiler.
Oh
No,
my
no,
God.
no, don't go.
No, it's
Oh my
fine.
God, he
Arcane
left.
was really good.
What? Okay, what was it? He left.
Jinx and her
Vi,
dad.
Yeah,
Vi
that's
and
fine.
Caitlyn.
Vi and Caitlyn is not a relationship. They
Oh.
allude to it, but there's nothing there for sure.
Bruh.
Yeah. Oh, there's
N-
nothing there. There's nothing there.
Absolutely not. They
No,
like
Aiden.
No.
Vi was in prison for like 10 years, and then she gets out and she's walking around with Caitlyn. Yeah, she's gonna flirt a little bit. They are alluding to it 100%, but there is nothing confirmed there at all. Not
confirmed, bro. I swear it's gonna be a thing.
Aiden. What are you saying? You like Jace's shit more with that other counselor?
No, but that made sense.
It sure did. So did the Vi and Caitlyn thing. Sheltered
It
girl
didn't make
and
the
convict?
Vi and
Come on.
Caitlyn thing did not make as much sense to me.
I don't.
Because like
I don't know
I
about that
understand,
either.
like seasoned aristocrat taking advantage of like the young up and comer. I get that. That makes 100% sense to me.
She's not
Like-
like that though. Caitlyn
No,
isn't like that.
Caitlyn is the little rich girl who's finally getting exposed to some weird shit, and Vi knows it and is having fun with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that like see that whole like character dynamic was bizarre to me.
I think
Supposed
they
to be
might
some
have just
buddy cop
rushed it
shit.
a little, but it is kind of just a buddy cop movie.
It is buddy cop segment.
I don't know.
That's what I
it
think.
didn't to me. It didn't
I
come
also
across as
disagree
buddy
with
cop.
Tyler because I don't think Jinx and Silco's thing is weird at all. I think that's a really good
Shit's
storyline.
weird as
No,
fuck,
that was
dude.
it was weird. It
I
was like very much a
hated it.
groomy like kind of.
But no,
weird.
it was
the
effective.
ending
was
with
effective.
the ending with Silco talking to Vander's statue literally is the culmination of that whole thing.
No, I'm not saying anything's bad with it at all. I'm not saying that.
Tyler just doesn't like it.
I just don't like it. It's
Okay.
good writing. It's excellent writing, actually.
All right, let's
I
bring
just
Freeman
don't like
back.
it.
Let's bring Freeman
Here,
back.
I'll
All right, yeah.
drag him.
got him.
Arcane's still a really good show though.
Freeman,
I
you're
thoroughly
back.
enjoyed it.
Cool.
A good show, well worth watching.
Yes, definitely worth watching, and that's why going to my list because Aiden, you're done, right? Yeah, that's all three of yours.
Yeah, that's all my animes.
Yeah, I had a fourth honorable mention, which was Arcane, because Aiden was going to talk about it, but Arcane definitely because we don't have a general TV thing, but Arcane definitely makes it onto my list too. But
shit in the fuck.
I'm just gonna
section.
race through mine because mine are pretty obvious. Even though it came out in Japan last year, the Violet Evergarden movie came out this year and did the one thing I thought was basically impossible, a solid conclusion to my favorite anime ever. So, yeah, that's mine of the year. And then similarly, Mugen Train the movie, not the arc on TV.
Although you could argue that the arc on TV containing the exact same content, if you watched in a row, is
Here's
the
the
same
thi-
thing as just watching
So,
this movie.
But literally having it works better as a continuous viewing experience. I think even if it literally just breaks for 30 seconds to cycle to the next episode, that flow break is enough to not make the Rengoku episode worth it for me. Like I would say without the Rengoku, and also the Rengoku episode is great after having seen the movie. I think it's better to see the movie and then see that episode than to see that beforehand because it flags his death even more. But yeah, Mugen Train the movie was fantastic. Stellar animation, stellar everything. Ufotable's killing it, and so far, season 2 has been starting well. Since we'll talk about that watching some of it later. And then Vivi, I realized was the only 9-star I gave on my anime list of the entire year. I mean, this was the show week to week where I was like, I need to watch this as soon as I got into it because like the animation, the music, just all the factors came together to make Vivi really good. And actually, this show is saved by having watched it a second time. Freeman, I think we talked about this when we finished it, when you and Val finished watching it.
Yeah.
Is that this was an 8 out of 10 for me, and then I actually bumped it up to a 9 having rewatched it and seeing all it's one of those time travel things where you see all the pieces fit together and you realize how much extra effort went into it. And it made it hit a little harder seeing it again. So,
Oh, don't worry. I get it. I still have to talk about 13 Sentinels at some point tonight.
Oh, that's right. Well, first we got to finish through anime. So Tyler,
I will start at the bottom. Well, I rearranged these differently. Quintuplets is my third. I said I
Nice.
would go like, in order, or was it say more about it? But I guess like I kind of said, I guess everything that I liked about it. Um, it stood out mostly because like of the character stuff, and that's really, I swear, listeners, that's why. Please believe me. It's good. It's good, especially if you like cheesy romance stuff. Oh, I forgot about the other one that I thought was a laugh riot, Kaguya-sama.
Oh, that's right, because you
That's
watched the whole thing this year.
Yeah, that was also great. But I put that down with like honorable mentions next to like Hunter x Hunter. I watched all of Hunter x Hunter. That should probably be at my top if it wasn't for the Bugs Life arc, to be honest with you.
The Bugs
Um,
Life arc.
yeah, the Bugs Life arc, aka Chimera Ants, aka Bugs with Guns.
Bugs with guns.
Dude, it wasn't. I didn't like it.
That was why it
Um,
was fucking. That was a slog. A lot of that was rough.
oh yeah, especially after coming out of York New City, where I was like, yo, this is some of the best shit I have ever seen. um, second, even though I didn't finish it yet, but I'm probably just gonna keep watching it on my own at this point. To Your Eternity.
Are you and Leslie ever gonna
Just
finish
from
that fucking show?
No.
No, I'm about
You
to
guys
on
have
my
like
own.
not watched a single episode since the weekend Tim got married. Because I remember talking about watching with you guys on
This
the
is
way out of the
correct.
hotel.
This is correct. And so guess what? I'm probably gonna start it after I finish all my other stuff.
Literally, just never tell her that you watched it, and it won't be a problem.
And it won't be a problem. It's
Like every
fine.
time she says like, "Oh, Tyler, we have to watch," just be like, "Yeah, we do," and then just don't follow up,
Yeah, we
and it will
do.
never be an issue.
Very true. Probably what's gonna happen. Listeners, keep my secret. Um and then 86, even though it's not done yet. So far, it's like some of the best directed stuff I have seen.
Mecha is
Like
back.
from an anime. Yeah, like it's really good. The story's good. The characters are good. I really enjoy the world building. The world building's super cool. Um and yeah, it's really just the direction that does it for me, like, and I feel like a lot of the voice acting is pretty like good in it too. It's a good one. I mean, it's a lot like you get a lot of Iron-Blooded Orphan feels in this one.
Yep.
Definitely.
But that not the reason why I like it, but like there's just a lot of stuff like that I feel like is being done right, and how they structure every episode to like keep you on edge and really keep you interesting, and like everything is pretty cinematic. Like I highly enjoy this one. And that's my anime.
I'm
That's
trying to
that's my
remember
list.
because with 86, I remember I think I watched episode 1 before you guys, but then you watched the rest of it before I did, and I'm pretty sure I sold it to you guys saying this reminds me of Iron Blood Orphans. Was like,
That is what got me interested in watching it. And then watching, I'm like, yo, this has the potential to be better than Iron Blooded Orphans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really
So
hope that like any anime team that's like we're gonna do a CG mecha show looks at this and says like this is how you should animate your CG mechas. Like that's what the show's
With
doing.
with
Like
delays every other week.
look, like besides everything else in the show, I'm not gonna talk about that. I just want to talk about the CG on the robots and talk about especially how good it is in the second half. It's phenomenal. And then I look at the trailer for like the Gundam remake they're doing, and it's like this looks like
oh
anus.
god.
It's the same fucking company, and this looks like anus. Like what's happening right now?
It's random, so you know they have infinite money.
Like Sunrise is like, yeah, we're gonna make this one TV show called 86, and then we're gonna remaster this episode of the anime we never aired on TV with new modern animation, except it's gonna look like booty.
Jeez.
It's
I
Berserk
just, I
all
don't.
over again.
I can feel the
Clang,
clang
clang.
from the metal on the
I can feel the
robots.
clang. I hate it. I hate it already. I hate it. It's fine. We have 86. It's fine.
All right,
Oh man, so we're gonna go to the next topic, which
which is
is
Yeah, you loop around,
games.
Freeman. Give us some games.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna list off all the games I played this year because it's less than 20 seconds to do so. But starting from the beginning of the year, I opened the year playing Witcher 3, and then I put it on pause, very controversially, to play through Persona 5 Strikers, which I kind of liked, ended up dropping. Then played Astral Chain, which I made it like 2/3 through before I realized the gameplay does not evolve at any point after that point in the game, and I was like, I've played enough. Put that on pause. Picked up Witcher for like a month. Then I put it down because the Pokemon Diamond remake happened. And I played that halfway through until I quit. If you want to know why I quit, you can watch our episode from like 2 episodes ago where I talk about it violently for 20 minutes.
And
After
where
that,
we all said, "When's Freeman gonna stop playing?" What
Right.
was it? What did we say? It was like, what? Like, how long are we gonna give it before you say that this is trash or something like that?
I don't remember us doing it because at the beginning I was like, this. I was like, it's fine. It's not that bad until I hit the break point. Where I'm like, there's just too much shit. There's too many hoops I have to jump through to make this game playable.
Yeah, because that's the
Um,
meme. It's like, oh hey, we're gonna talk shit about Pokemon, and you're gonna be like, yo, but maybe the next one's different. And then like you put like 20 hours in, and you're like, yo, this game's ass. And then we
Listeners,
talk shit
mark
about
my
Game Freak.
words. I am not buying Pokemon Legends.
Oh, thank God for that.
There.
Looks like
I'm making a
me.
statement. It's so help me God if I purchase this game by the end of 2021. Then whatever. Anyway, rest of the games because there's only 2 more. I played Just Cause 3 right before Thanksgiving break, and then the last month or 2 I've been flipping out about 13 Sentinels, which I just platinumed last week. Yeah, last week. So looking at this list, I thought it was going to be 13 Sentinels until I finished the game and realized I am never going to pick this game up again, most likely. It was a cool story when it was a mystery. I recommend it to other people, but I'm not going to play it again. I loved it. What game am I going to keep playing? And I'm going to keep playing Witcher 3.
Fuck yeah.
So Witcher 3 is my game of the year just for the reason that I keep arguing with my brother about this, is that in Witcher 3, I can put it down anytime I want, come back, and I know exactly what I'm doing. Like, I'm stuck in Final Fantasy X because I stopped the game 30 hours in. I have no clue where to jump in. In Witcher 3, at any time I want to jump in, it's Geralt goes up to Yennefer, says, "Where's Ciri? I don't know. Let's go there to look." And along the way, someone's like, "Oh, Witcher, please go kill that monster." And then Geralt just hops on his horse. And at any point, you can turn off the game, come back, and if you want to do any of those 3 things, congratulations, you're playing Witcher 3 right now. And the game will just naturally lead you to do something else as you're going along. So it's, in my eyes, it's the perfect game where I play it when I want to, and I don't feel bad putting it down because it's so fucking easy to jump back in. So we'll see if Witcher 3 is my game of the year next year, because I guarantee you I'm going to keep playing this on and off, and there is no end in sight for this game. So yeah, Witcher 3. Even though I'm pretty sure I technically started it last year, I played most of it this year.
It's a good game.
That was
Fun.
good.
I mean, I wish I had played it this year so I could make it my game of the year. So,
All right, Aiden, the Game King.
Hell
Let's hear,
yeah!
Let's hear what you
All right,
narrowed it down to.
Here are these bangers. So I'm not gonna talk about the game of the year first. So we're going to reverse order.
Right.
My special mention, because I'm still not done with it, but it is an incredible experience. Half-Life Alyx is fucking phenomenal. Like this is the most complete VR game that I've ever played. Like, there is a superb attention to detail. Like, it is very much a Half-Life game that you just get to live through, and it's fucking impressive.
Out of curiosity, what headset are you using?
Quest 2.
All right.
Which I'm sure people will fucking someone out there is gonna fucking chew my head off for that. But
Yo, I don't give a shit. Resident Evil 4 was awesome.
Yeah, fuck
It
yeah.
was so good. It was so good. I was finally bad at Resident Evil 4 again. It was awesome. I haven't been bad at Resident Evil 4 since I was in middle school, man. Which is a long time ago. A long time ago. Great.
Dude, I say what you will about like the Quest and like it being not as powerful. It is the most accessible headset for VR, and it works phenomenally well for what it is. Like, if you don't have a full room to dedicate to an index, like having the portability of the Quest is it's just wild. Like, hey, let me grab my headset and my controllers and we can just go anywhere you want to play
We're
some
going to
VR
the
games.
park.
Like, it's fucking crazy. But I
The
digress.
fact that it's wireless though is a
Mhm.
game changer. I just wanted to add that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
That, like, the
wires
whole,
are the worst part of the headsets right now.
this is the beginning of the end. I see the metaverse now.
I mean, I
I
was-
am Ready Player One.
I was talking to my coworker the other day, and she was even around Christmas time. She was like, "Yo, I'm considering trying to get a Quest 2 because it seems really accessible." And this is a girl who doesn't have any modern console or anything, and
Yo,
not even
it's
has a laptop that's old, and is like, "Yo, this is just a device that seems functional enough that I just want to invest in this."
I think, maybe don't quote me on this, but I think the Quest 2 is going to end up as the PlayStation 2 of VR. Like,
Oh, just the one
it
that
is
everyone
the
has.
Don't
it is
quote
the
me on this in
one
this
that
device that will quote me.
no matter like who it was, like everybody had a PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like this is that, except in the VR space.
I don't know if we'll get to that. I feel like for me, it's like I'm waiting for like one more generation, you know? Like
Oh,
I just want it to be slightly better and then a little cheaper, and I would buy one. I think I've
I mean, $300 is pretty fucking wild for a standalone
is that
headset.
literally how cheap it is? Damn.
The Quest 2, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well, there's
cheaper than most
there's
consoles
two
are now.
options.
Yeah,
Oof.
You got
you can get the 128 gig for 300, which,
yeah.
like, most VR games, shockingly enough, are like sub 20. So
Wow.
it's no worse than like a console. Like, I can only ever have like 6 games installed on my console.
Yeah,
Well,
just
yeah,
don't
'cause
play
the games-
Warzone VR.
Yeah, don't play
because the
Warzone VR.
games have to be. The only thing that is the most demanding thing is that you render the fucking thing twice.
Yeah.
That's what the problem is there's two cameras rendering two different things.
Yeah.
Fucking VR, man.
It's
I was about to say, wait,
wild.
what's the second layer? Until I realized you meant both eyes are rendering, is what you're talking about.
Yeah, both eyes. Yeah, that's what both can't see. When I
But then
thought
both
because
screens are, yeah, there's 2 screens that
yeah,
render simultaneously.
because when I was at school, we were dipping our toes into VR, and there was always two cameras. That's why, like, when you mess around with like engines and stuff, like, typically the uh like the widget or like whatever tool you have like is the camera. Like it's like
Gotcha.
a camera symbol. Yeah,
So
that's
I,
why
funnily enough, came to the realization that this is why 8K needs to exist. Because
Oh,
I
Lord.
always
Oh,
made
for
the
two
argument.
4Ks?
I always made the argument, like, why the fuck would you need 8K? Like, you'd have to put your eyeballs on the screen to see anything wrong with it. It's like,
And now
yes,
you're like,
that's the
wait a
point.
And now
minute.
my
Now
eyeball
you-
is touching it.
Now
That's
that
like,
my eyeballs are
that's the
touching.
whole point now. Get
I lo-
get as many pixels per inch as possible and just stick it right in your eye.
Says I looked into the pixels and the pixels look back kind of problem here. You don't want to see no pixels.
But yeah, that's the all right. That's the VR tangent.
All right, let's
Oculus
hear your
Quest 2,
actual gameplay here.
really good purchase, by the way. Runner up, Control. Like, this game just drips like SCP universe, and I love it. I love everything about it. It is just it plays clean. The effects are spectacular. Like, the story is interesting enough. I feel like there were some parts that were a little weird, but I mean, the whole game is weird, so that's fine. Really enjoyed it. 9 out of 10. But the one true game this year was Outer Wilds: Echoes of the Eye.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I didn't hear you talk about this at all this year.
Bruh. Oh my god. This is just like the most perfectly there was great care taken in the crafting of this expansion, and it really shows. Like, when you have it, you have a game, And when you're able to perfectly meld the gameplay concepts and the thematic like tone of the game together, it's a good game. And god damn it, did they do it. Like, if you want to explore just beautiful and bizarre and just some of the most creative aspects of what I think games can be, this is the game.
Oh wait, I've watched you play this a few
Yes.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched
Like,
a little bit that one time. Yeah.
It's so well put together, and I enjoy the themes of this game a lot because I'm a fucking nerd and I love space, and I also enjoy the concepts of, like, the Matrix, etc., etc. And this kind of hits all the right spots for me. So that's it. Outer Wilds, Echoes of the Eye, Game of the Year.
Nice. My list is very short because I played nothing new this year.
Tim's
my,
like, I had a life this year. God.
yeah, whatever. More like I just couldn't find any games that I wanted to play. But my one of my runner-ups is Warframe. Got back into it for the first time in 8 years, almost 8 years, and I'm already burning out again. But because there's just too much in this game. It's like this is a job if you want to get through to the new content that just came out, this giant new story is like, oh hey, you want to get 150 hours into the game, then you can play it, sure. So I don't have nearly enough shit that's come out in the last few years to get to that, so I'm kind of just burning out. So yeah, but Warframe is still fun. Warframe's still a fantastic game. Also replayed Dead Space 2 because I got to do that like every year or something. Dead Space 2 is still one of the best games I've ever played. And then my game of the year is Control. It's the only new game It's the only new game I like instantly clicked with and would race home from work to fucking play this year. I was so desperate to beat Control. There are definitely a few slow parts, and the DLCs do not hold up to the base game, but even still, the whole pack, like playing the game, just feels so good to me. And the story is interesting, and I'm not even into like SCP and all that stuff, but the whole thing is just really well done, top to bottom. And it's really, really solid, and I'm glad I got to play Control this year. So yeah, definitely game of the year for me is Control.
You reminded me of the Ashtray Maze. What a fucking
Dude, that song is on my playlist, on my Spotify like my main liked songs playlist. It's 7 minutes long, but that song is a banger.
I was gonna wait until I started talking about Control also, but like, hands down, Ashtray Maze is actually, I have like in my head like there's a bunch of scripted scenes like from games that are probably like my favorite ones. It's probably one of them, if not my favorite.
It's so good.
Like, I was so in it. Like, I remember, I think I thought I was playing with you. Yeah. And I literally like I have my Astro headset. I think once the music kicked in, I started feeling it. I like turned the knob all the way to game. I just shut you guys up.
Yep.
Like I didn't know what the hell you guys were saying. I was so in it. I was like, this is amazing. And then
Dude,
like after it was done, I was like, yeah.
Dude, when I played that bit, I remember I wasn't on with anybody, but I was just grinning ear to ear as I'm just racing through. Like the music's pumping me up. I'm like, just you're fully powered up. You're just throwing shit left and right. Like it just felt so badass to run through that whole part. It was awesome.
And like the way the scene was directed, like I don't think I've ever really played anything where the music was not just thematically good, but it was synced so well to the level. And like the enemy spawning, I honestly don't think I've ever played a set piece that was done so well, like so executedly well. Like it could have been obviously like, oh, like I'm playing how I normally would, but like it's conveniently in time, but like I feel like they tried really hard to like sync things up so like when you get to a certain spot, like this section of the song will play and it just works.
It's funny because they actually kind of try to recreate it a little bit with the movie projector,
Oh, with that one,
the movie
yeah,
camera,
that
and
was just kind of a quick like
which was
thrown
good, but it
together.
definitely clearly it was like it was the DLC version of it, and it was still good and fun, and I still remember that scene too, but nothing touches the maze.
Oh my god.
Especially when you go to the maze for the first time and it just loops you around, and then the second time you go in and you put the headset on, and then the walls just collapse in front of you. You're like, oh, we're going now.
We going. Fucking good.
What else you got, Tyler?
Well, so I got well. All right, you know what? I'll start from Control because we talked about Control, so it's fine. Whatever. Um, I like that game a lot. I'm into the whole SCP like thing. Like I haven't read too many of them, but like I always liked that kind of like weird off horror, like just weird shit. It's always been like my thing. So I really enjoyed Control. And I'll say like for a third person shooter, the gun feedback was also like pretty great. I just wanted to like put a note into that. Like the sound design was incredible for that game. Um, Hades is a second. Probably objectively should probably be my best. Like if I were to have like, like a technical first, this would be first. Like everything from the gameplay down to the story, the voice acting, everything is just stellar. And like I didn't think anything of this game. I forget who someone oh
It was
my that's
me.
right, my friend huh?
I
It
think I
was
was the one
me.
who was screaming it in chat once.
No, so you were I think after the fact maybe, but my friend who I was his best man at his wedding this year, John, my friend John, I was talking to him one day, he was like, "Oh yeah, like blah blah like, you know, you should play Hades." And I'm like, "Oh, I haven't played Hades." He's like, and then next thing you know, I got an I got an email, right, saying that he bought me Hades. I was like, well, he's like, "No, you need to play this." I was like, "Okay, I guess I'm playing it now." And I was like, "Yo." Like I dumped like I got to end credits for like people who know anything about that game. Like it's like you don't quote beat that game, but like you
Mm-hmm.
get to the end, you get to the credits and that's like you basically got through the main story, right?
You're now at the end game at that point.
Yeah, you're at the end game, and like the fact that I am over 50 hours into this game and like I'm still running into like new dialogue is absolutely insane. Like you could tell that there was so much like attention to detail and passion. Like there was definitely a lot of blood and sweat and probably more blood and like loss of sleep over this game, and like it was definitely a well done
I
game.
mean, this seems like the gold standard for what a roguelike is, right?
Oh
Like
for sure.
there is nothing that is this good for roguelikes.
Yeah, and the story and how the story is actually baked into like the theme of the game, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
for those of you who listeners who haven't played this game, basically it's about this guy named Zagreus. He's Hades' son, and he tries to get out of hell because he wants to see his mother, right? Um, and obviously since he's in Hades, he can't leave. So, but every time he gets a little bit of help from some people here and there, and like the more times you die, right, you go back to the beginning, but you're a little bit stronger. So you work your way up, you die. Like dying is a part of the game. It's pretty great. And they keep that throughout the entire game. So, and they put some hints at the end to like kind of let you know like, oh, we're not done with this. Like there might be a sequel, and I wouldn't be surprised like there was a ton of like you know, uh, shit about it last year, so and I ranted on it a little bit too much, but that's fine. Because I gotta save room for Resident Evil 4.2,
Yo.
aka Resident Evil Village. which is which is so it's a funny thing, right? Because I feel like technically this isn't like a banger, I would say, and I wouldn't recommend this to literally anyone unless you like Resident Evil games. Like a lot of people liked it, but I don't know if I would say it's a good game, if that makes any sort of sense. Does that make sense?
I mean, you're
Sort of.
basically just saying if you liked Resident Evil 4, you'll love this.
If you like Resident Evil 4, you'll like this. Get a load of this. Like it does everything like pretty good. Like the story's kind of like whatever, right? And like, I mean like they're all not good stories. Let's be honest here. For
But
anyone who's played
the cheese is baked into the Resident Evil story. Like
the
that's just how it
cheese,
works.
yo, let me tell you about Ethan's lines, man. Ethan's lines are so fucking hilarious. Like he's just got some one-liners that just like I can't. I
Yeah.
just can't. They're just too much. They're too much. But like it was fun though. It was fun. I played through it like what, Aiden, 4 or 5 times
Oh yeah, we
at
both played
least.
through it like we both played through it at least 3. Like
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
couple days, I feel.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, you guys were
bad.
blowing through that. Tyler, I still remember you were trying to show
Yeah.
me the thing at the window, and you're like, yo, look at this funny moment, Tim. And then you just go to the window when that guy is supposed to, like,
Yeah,
scare
I'm
you, and it
so
didn't
mad about that
work.
sequence break. Well, so
That
I
was so
learned what
funny.
happened, I think, because they change up the enemies, right? Like in the higher difficulties. So when I was playing and you were there, I was playing on the hardest difficulty, and
Mhm.
I don't think they had it. It's either that or the sequence broke. So I'm almost betting that the sequence broke on that
It
one.
was just the funniest thing that you were hyping up this moment, and then the game just doesn't fucking work, and it doesn't show up.
Yeah, it was upsetting. It was upsetting. I wanted to show my friend this cool toy, and then it didn't work. And I was like, "Yo, I swear it works. You just gotta give it a second." But it's all right. No, that was my game of the year. That's what I had the most fun on, and like I just really enjoyed playing like again and again. Like it felt like I was playing the older Resident Evil games again. Like I thought 7 was okay, but it's not what I want. Like 8 was what I wanted from 7, 100%, and I got it. So there it is.
Hmm.
Play Resident Evil Village if you're about that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So we're going back up now. We're
Yep,
on what, movies this
yep.
year?
It's on to
Movie
movies.
time. All right, so I'll go. So I only actually saw 5 movies that came out this year, and one of them is a technicality because it came out in the U.S. this year. Um, and those 5 movies were Dune, Evangelion 3.0 plus 1, Matrix 4, Sword Art Online Progressive, and then Fate's Day Night Heaven's Feel 3. I also watched Heaven's Feel 2, but that one came out like forever ago in Japan, so I'm not counting that one because it took me forever to pirate it. But in terms of those 4, I am going to give it to Dune. This isn't the award I'm happiest about. All in all, like movies this year were kind of whatever. While I liked Heaven's Feel 3, they had to cram a lot of content into a single movie, and they're like, "Fuck that, let's just do cool fight scenes because it's ufotable," and they just got off that Demon Slayer high.
Hmm.
So in terms of the animated movies, I'm gonna give it to Heaven's Feel 3 over Sword Art or Eva. Eva 4 was a great conclusion to the franchise. I think it was a good movie. Um, I just think the viewing experience was a little wonky. Um, Tyler, I don't know if you agree with that statement at all.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It was a
But
little, yeah.
in terms of the live action movies, in Dune versus Matrix 4 is no competition. Matrix 4 is an objectively bad movie, and Dune is
Black.
what I want to call a good but incomplete film. It's probably going to be a great entry to an otherwise great series of movies, but until that series of movies comes out, it's hard to say this is good. Like in terms of what the film itself does, what it shows, what it tries to tell you, what it conveys. Dune was great. It just felt like it ended 2 hours early.
More like three and a
Very
half.
true.
Yeah. Either way.
That was still great when you were like, "This is where it ended," and Val and I simultaneously like, "What the fuck? That's not even halfway through the fucking book."
The icing on the cake was my brother and dad asked the same thing the night before and replied exactly the same way.
Yeah. That's how you know. That's how you know
So I'm like, all right, this is very legit. Everyone's feeling the exact same thing.
Oh, I
So
read that book this year too. Sorry,
anyway,
Jesus.
but that's it for me. Dune begrudgingly wins movie of the year for me, just because I saw
Begrudging.
very few movies worthy of the title,
Freeman, if you had to put anime movies in this,
which I did.
Which he did.
yeah, but like anime movies, never mind. I'm still shocked that you don't have Demon Slayer in here.
You're right. I don't know why. I don't know why I keep thinking it was 2020 when it was 2021.
because
My anime list says
Evangelion
2020.
Was hilarious because what's his face was making fun of his own show. Remember that meme we came up with?
Sorry, this list only had ones that came out this year, not ones from previous. Because then I had to open the can of worms of how many movies did I watch this year that came out previous years.
But I'm saying Demon Slayer came out here this year. That's why it was on my anime list.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, U.S. release. Where is so? How do I put this?
I mean, you don't have to add it. It's fine.
No. I will talk briefly about the Demon Slayer movie because you already talked about how much you love it. I feel weird here. Walking out of the Demon Slayer movie, I'm like, I feel like this would have been better as a TV show. And then I saw it as a TV show, and I'm like, that wasn't that good. So
Yeah.
I'm conflicted about how I'm supposed to fucking feel about this because like I still feel like the movie has a very clear split in the middle where it's like this feels like 2 half arcs, not a full story. And like while the animation was great, Heaven's Feel 3 was just so much better than the Demon Slayer movie.
Damn.
But no one saw it because it's the 3rd part of a 3-part movie series. You have to watch a full other show to get, but you can't watch that show until you're already deep in the fucking Fate franchise. So like it's hard to say Heaven's Feel 3 is objectively better. It's difficult to watch. It doesn't tell as good of a story. But purely animation for Ufotable movies, Heaven's Feel 3 kicked Demon Slayer's ass and no one wants to talk about it. There. That's my hot take.
Damn. That is a hot take. That's a no pun intended
Spicy
for those
hot.
of you who've
Go watch
watched
Heaven's
the Demon Slayer
Feel.
movie.
It was
No
a
one's
good trilogy.
gonna. No one's gonna.
I know, that's the
Damn.
problem.
Mean, but no one's gonna.
No one's
I know. You don't have to remind me.
Aiden, how
Like,
do
not
you?
even the
How many
friend group.
movies did you watch, Aiden?
Like the ones from this year, just one.
That's not true. Weren't you there for Pig or no?
I was
No,
not. I
he-
was not
he
there
was
for Pig.
not.
I couldn't remember.
I was
He
not
was
there
Wait,
not
did
there
Pig
for
come
Pig.
out this year?
Yeah, that's
It
why I
did.
said. That's why I had it on my
Oh
list
shit!
originally.
Pig was better than Dune. Pig is movie of the year.
Shit! Swept.
All right, well, there you go.
It was a real
Got it
fucking
in
movie,
there.
not this incomplete Dune shit.
Swept, dude. Let's go.
Nah, my movie of the year, which this might be a little bit of a hot take for Tyler, is The Green Knight.
I'm really
And-
shocked, actually.
Also, hold
So,
on.
like-
Under games, we did so every game we fucking everyone almost put on their list didn't come out this year.
I know. I said before we started, Games
know.
was the only one I made an exception because I have not played a game that came out this year besides
I feel like
Pokemon.
if Aiden's only putting one movie, Aiden, if you watch something else this year that was good, you can add that to the list.
You tell me the raid is not better than Green Knight.
No, all right. So, all right, do you want to know what the difference between the Raid and The Green Knight is for me?
A large budget.
The
I'm
only
ready.
thing I remember about the Raid is the fight at the end, and I can recall at least 60% of the Green Knight.
Jesus. Tyler,
God
he's
damn
doubling
it.
down.
God damn it.
I am doubling down. Yeah, like it was a really weird movie, and it was really bizarre storytelling, but it was a memorable movie, and I enjoyed it.
Nah, now we gotta watch Pig now.
Fine,
have
I'll
to.
watch Pig.
We have to watch Pig now because that'll be your movie
You
of the year.
can't let
I
Green
know it
Knight
would be.
be Aiden's movie of the year.
Like
All
not
right,
even
fine.
not even because I want you to like I mean kind of like it's 1090 fuck Green Knight, but like 90% like
1090.
I know you would like Pig so much.
I-
Like it is your movie.
You really would like Pig, Aiden.
God damn it! Why the fuck? How come my shit gets to be undermined?
No. I'm not.
Man.
I'm
No,
not. coming
because
at it from
fuck
t-
Green Knight,
No.
it wasn't. A24
See,
sucks.
what did I say?
I've
I
ranted
knew it
this
was gonna be a hot take. I knew it was gonna be a hot take for Tyler.
It's from me
Yeah,
because
it's-
they don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, and honestly, Pig was really good, and I think looking back, you would really like Pig Aid, and that's
Yeah,
not related
it
to
is.
Green Knight.
It is on the stack. It is on the stack. Believe me.
I'm saying this again for the 100th time. A24 movies suck. You can't change my mind.
That's fine.
I've
That's
watched at least
fine.
like fucking 10 of these things, and they're just not good.
All right.
No, I will say though. All right, I'll
Fine.
give you
No,
this
no,
though.
fine. You know what?
No,
No. I'm changing it. I'm gonna
no.
change it.
No, don't
I'm
change it.
changing
No, let me finish. Let me finish. Green Knight is probably like the best one, honestly, out of all of them.
Yeah, I
It
thought it was
makes
good, man.
it makes believe it or not, it makes the most sense.
Okay.
Weirdly, like God,
All right,
A24
fine.
movies,
Fine.
man.
I'm changing it anyways. Castle in the Sky. That's the new
Oh
movie of
shit.
the year.
Yo, that's a banger. I
Yo,
saw that
Castle
this
in the
year
Sky is
too.
a
That's
great
right.
movie.
No, they were murking people in that movie. That was wild.
All right, so in terms of actual movies that came out this year that I don't think there's much controversy with, honorable mention to Godzilla vs. Kong. Not an incredible movie, but man, those fights are so fucking fun to watch. Holy shit, so much of that movie is dumb fun. Any second humans aren't on screen is like 10 out of 10 entertainment.
Still
They could
can't stop thinking
literally-
about the aesthetic of the LEDs on all the buildings.
Oh,
Freeman-
in Japan, yeah.
No, it's Korea, right?
Oh no, it's in
It's-
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Yeah, no, you're right.
If Freeman
yeah,
could
Hong
jump
Kong.
into a movie and just live there, it would be that Hong Kong fucking
For real.
Aesthetic.
I'm going to go with a kind of bold choice here, and something I legitimately, if you told me at the beginning of the year this was going to be on my list at all, I'd say fuck you. Free Guy was honestly surprisingly funny and entertaining, and not another Ryan Reynolds like stereotypical I just did Deadpool jokes again kind of thing where like
He doesn't act the same as he did in Detective Pikachu, does he?
I don't know, I didn't see that movie still. But honestly,
Man, at
Free
least
Guy,
this movie was better than Pixels, so
like when I was in Virginia for one of my work trips, I distinctly remember being like, there's literally nothing I am interested in seeing in the theater. I guess I'll see Free Guy because my coworker said it, she liked it. I will, and I went, and I honestly had a really good time watching Free Guy in like an empty theater with a dinner at an AMC dine-in. So like, it was good. I enjoyed it. It's not revolutionary, but it was a shockingly not cringy as fuck comedy about video games. So yeah, it worked. Also surprise hit, Shang-Chi, best Marvel movie of the year. Don't come at me because everyone's going to say Spider-Man's better, but Shang-Chi I think really is like, this is like the Black Panther of this year, like the one that has its own like a new character that nobody really cared about at all. And even Shang-Chi wasn't even in other stuff. Like Black Panther at least showed up in other stuff, but they found their own style. They told their story really well. The action was really good. Some of it's goofy, but also some of the CGI was just stunning. Like that fight at the end between the two creatures. I don't want to spoil more, but
oh yeah.
that fight looked incredible. Like the CGI in these things just keeps getting better, and it's astounding.
Can I just interject for one second? I just
Sure.
want to toss in that they finally did the Ten Rings some justice.
Yes, after
the
so many
Mandarin.
years of, and they even
Wait, when did they fuck it? Oh, was it Iron Man 3 that
yeah,
fucked
Iron
it up?
Man 3.
Yeah.
And they even play into that and really retcon it to be funny. And they honestly kind of make it work. I actually really liked what they did with that. It in retrospect makes Iron Man 3 a little less bad. Not that it was ever really good.
Yeah.
It's funny how everyone's like, yo, Robert Downey Jr. and it's literally just Iron Man 1 is a really good movie. And then
I
he's good in all
I
the
didn't
other
hate
ones.
Thor anywhere as much as everyone else does, but I will
don't
acknowledge it's
hate
not
it, but
a great movie.
It's not very good. All his solo movies are just less interesting. Anyway, movie of the year though. Thank goodness my brother and dad don't listen to this podcast because fucking James Bond, No Time to Die, movie of the year.
What?
It
Your
took-
dad and brother didn't like it?
They hated it because of the ending. They both legitimately told me they couldn't stand the movie because of the ending. We have Tyler, we have literally been waiting to see this movie for a year and a half
Oh my
thanks to
God.
COVID, and it was worth it. This movie was top to bottom banger.
Let me tell you, fucking worth it.
I
Actually worth it.
So yeah, my movie of the year, No Time to Die. The action was incredible. I think the ending is really good. Like the whole story and everything, is really good. All the characters are great. All the little moments are just so fun. Like it, I love No Time to Die. It was great.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
It is.
Pig is my number 3. Let me tell you, didn't think Nicolas Cage
Nope.
in his entire career could pull off a performance like this.
Wait,
If I,
you've seen National Treasure, right?
dude, you need to stop right now. I need you to stop. I just need you. I just need to just explain for a second. Like I just want to like just briefly gloss over this man's entire career, right? You can't find like a serious performance, though. I will say he's been cranking out some stuff that's like been pretty interesting. Like Mandy. Mandy's a weird movie. I wouldn't recommend it to any of you guys, but like I like that movie,
As a
and I
movie
thought he was
connoisseur,
pretty
Tyler
good.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, right. As a mild connoisseur, like there are people out there that are like, nah, you don't watch movies. I'm like,
As a top
I
10%
kind
on
of do.
Letterboxd.
Yeah, right. Jesus Christ. What's it called? Like it's good. Like Pig was really good. They did a lot. It's kind of funny how like they structure the story too, and like how you slowly learn about his character throughout the entire movie. It was just good. I'll just leave it at that. It was a pleasant surprise. Like I haven't gotten a pleasant surprise like this since Birdman and John Wick.
Oh wow.
Yes, I didn't think and like just as a reference, like I kind of went into Pig the same way that I went into Birdman and John Wick. Like John Wick, like before anybody knew what the movie was about, like everyone's like, oh, it's just another movie with like Keanu Reeves, or like Birdman's like, oh, it's just another movie with oh my god, Batman. Oh my god,
Which one?
yeah, right. The I'm trying to remember Tim Burton's Batman. You know what I'm talking about. Oh my god, it's gonna bother me, but whatever. It's gonna come to me after the podcast. It's gonna piss me off.
Probably.
But like like I went into those movies not knowing anything about them, and I come out like, oh, like these movies are certified bangers, right? Like Pig, certified banger, actually good. Um, Second, my runner up is Last Night in Soho,
Mm.
the new Edgar Wright movie that came out this year. Um, I tell you, this guy doesn't miss. He doesn't miss, except for wait. I think he did at World's End. I think that might have been a miss, but everything
Yeah,
else
the
is
the third of that trilogy really not as good as the first two.
not as good. Like also like you'd think like, oh, he can't top Shaun of the Dead, and then Hot Fuzz came out. We still quote that, like we still quote Hot Fuzz, and like that, like both movies are great, and like he did Baby Driver before this, but Last Night in Soho, I would say he definitely did a little bit. He went into like he stepped into a realm that like I think he didn't really ever like go into, honestly. Um, and he toys around with a lot of things, and like I feel like now that I think about it, I feel like it was an M Night Shyamalan movie, and if an M Night Shyamalan movie was good, like there's a twist at the end.
I like The Village.
A lot of people honestly like The Village. A lot of people like Signs. Objectively, though, you're just like, wow, okay, what a twist. Cool, I
What they
guess.
twist?
What they twist? God,
That one
that's an
skit
old
like
skit.
ruined this man's life.
It really did. It really did. But like, but that's how it is though. Like they're all they all structured the same, right? Like there's no like wondering like you go into an M Night movie like, okay, what's the twist of this movie? Like that's his shtick. Like this one, you're going into it thinking like it's one thing, right? And like Edgar Wright plays it up to be like, oh, it's totally this thing, and like he's really good in this movie about like misleading the viewer. Um, and I'm like, man, I wouldn't mind getting more of this from him. And like he always picks like he finds just the right songs to make the movie have such a killer soundtrack. Killer soundtrack. Like every movie, this man knows his music, and like it really shows. It's amazing. And then we already talked about it. No Time to Die. This
Yeah,
movie's also a
buddy.
certified banger. And honestly, I was kind of skeptical, Tim. Like after like watching Spectre,
Mm-hmm.
I was worried. Like, and it's like, oh, all this waiting. I thought we were gonna be like underwhelmed. Like I thought Rami Malek was like gonna just be okay, which like he kind of sort of just
To be
was.
fair, that is true. He's a good villain, but like
He doesn't
he's not
command that on.
incredible. Yeah, he doesn't have like
Yeah,
woo.
he doesn't have the on-screen presence of like a Christoph Waltz,
Yeah,
right? Like even that
but
scene, like in the interrogation room, was like pretty powerful
but
stuff,
his whole theme with like the quiet menace works with his whole like kind of poisoner identity thing,
right?
So it kind of
And
works.
his demeanor,
Yeah,
like Rami Malek typically plays like very like quiet roles. I mean he played Freddie Mercury, but like
I just can't
that's
unsee
something
him in
else.
Mr. Computer.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Like he kind of plays a more like sinister version of him in that in this. Well, I guess he's not meek in this movie, right?
no,
Like
no, no.
in Mr. Robot, he's very meek, but like this one, like like Tim said, he's like got this very kind of
Oh,
stoic
Mr.
like.
Sorry, Mr. Robot. Sorry, this. Never
Oh, I
mind.
thought you were
I was
doing
like,
it as like a joke,
I was like,
as
no,
the
I'm like, what the
title,
fuck is the name of the show? It's not Mr. Computer. This is the parody name my friend used to call it. It's Mr.
The
Robot.
parody name.
Mr. Computer. Yo, talk about a show that I fell off of. Holy
Oh, I
cow!
still haven't watched past season 2.
Season 2 was all right, and then season 3 was like I was like I don't know what the hell's going on here. But No Time to Die, definitely like hands down my favorite movie of the year. It like I have seldom like walked in on something, like played something that had so much hype for it and then live up to that hype. Um it's good. Everybody should watch it. Like everybody.
Hell yeah. And I think with
And
that,
then
we're done with our tops of the year. After
No, Tyler has one more exclusive category
oh
to
yeah,
right,
himself.
the
exclusive to
books.
me, only me.
A, a,
I,
a category that just Tyler can compete in.
just Tyler. Winks at the camera. I thought about adding this and not. But I was like, I talked about a lot of the stuff that I have read on this podcast a lot, so like I figured I would at least just rapid fire through them a bit. I read through, or I more like I listened, but like listen read also the Stormlight Archives. I talked about that this year. Um, I liked Oathbringer a lot. That book was pretty great. All of them are pretty great. Like if you guys are in like if anybody's into like the high fantasy genre, like this is up there. Highly recommend. It's not done yet. There's still a lot that Sanderson has to write, but that dude's a madman and he's probably gonna finish writing all of them at some point. The runner up, even though I read Dune and Foundation also, like those were fun books, but like there's something about the Institute, and this is a Stephen King book, and I don't remember when I talked about it. It was definitely over the summer when I read it. But there was like a bunch of scenes in there that was like quintessential like Stephen King stuff, and there was like a few scenes I thought were just like really well written, especially for him. But I like that one. And then my favorite one this year, The Sleeper, because Aiden and I have been getting more into 40K lore. The first book of Eisenhorn called Xenos. That book, I remember what did I picked up Eisenhorn because I was in the middle of reading Mercy Thompson books. and I was like, I had to get the other one from Leslie, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start Eisenhorn, and I don't think I put it down. I don't think I did anything like for 2 weeks except read that book. And after I put it down, I was like, yo, this is so good. I still need to read the other two, but like I was like, oh man, this is amazing. Like I liked Eisenhorn. I liked all of his characters. Like Dan Abnett is such a great writer. Um, especially like in this universe. Like this is the first I've ever read of any of his stuff. Like I don't really read like video game books or like any whatever. Like I barely do read them. But the ones that I sometimes do pick up are like highly recommended. Like they're pretty good. Like I looked up like what's the best like 40K book, and like I kept seeing things about
Yeah,
Eisenhorn, so I
oh,
figured I'd
across the
pick it up.
board.
Yeah, they're like, yo, Dan Abnett. Like a lot of people are like Dan Abnett's the best writer like for 40K novels. I was like, all right, we'll give it a shot. And it's just, and when you think it's over, it ain't over. It
Pulls
keeps
you back
going.
in.
Yeah, so I hope that the rest of the books are like it. And like what I do like about this book is too like it has a pretty good end. Like let's say I wanted to end on this book, I'd be pretty satisfied. It has a pretty satisfying ending. But yeah, those are my top picks of books. I read more books, but these are the three that stood out to me the most that I read this year.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all of our top stuff for this year. A lot of really good things.
Yes.
Hopefully you all right like checked out all of these things or thought about it because they're all really good.
Even all the stuff from other years that we brought up.
Yeah, right.
All of them are bangers.
Except for Green Knight. No, I'm just kidding. Green Knight's
Damn.
all right. No. I will say Green Knight's all right. I will. No, after thinking about it, Green Knight's actually not bad.
Thank you.
It's not bad. Like I said, it really is. I think probably the best A24 movie that I've seen, and like other people can probably disagree with me, but like I don't know. They do a lot of artsy shit that like really kind of just like falls flat. But anyway, it's time
You
to
can
go
say it.
back to what we were talking about the first time.
Let's look into the future for a brief moment.
Oh,
I was
God.
waiting for someone to say the word because I'm sitting here waiting on
What,
the
weeb
soundboard.
shit? Weeb shit.
Yes,
There we go.
that's what I'm waiting for.
There it is.
All right, time for the weeb shit. And Tim, I know you had the first entry in the weeb shit this week.
Yeah,
like,
because this
written
sucks.
down.
So I made a comment about 86 when Tyler was talking about an anime, but 86 had a storied production the past few weeks,
Yeah, that's
skipping
bad.
basically every other week for a month. And now we're waiting on a fucking terrifying cliffhanger for 3 months because they have announced that 86 Core 2 isn't going to finish until the last 2 episodes air in fucking March.
It's Wonder Egg priority
This
all
is
over
stupid.
again.
This sucks. Except so far it's good.
So this is 100% a problem of being a TV anime first and refusing to do digital second. The real reason they can't do the last 2 episodes is because the TV
time
studios
slot in Japan.
they've already sold the
yeah.
time slots, and it's just like, well, like we can't just put it up for streaming. That's ridiculous. Like
What the fuck?
everyone's expecting it to be on TV, so let's just wait 3 months. And it's like I don't know who thought this was a good idea. Like if you can't broadcast on TV, like I don't know, limited time stream. I don't know what Japan's like
It's-
aversion to making stuff digitally available is.
Freeman, you know what one of the biggest companies in Japan that we all have to deal with is? Nintendo.
Netflix. Oh yes,
Netflix.
Netflix of Japan is a big problem, child. But for Netflix of Japan to be a thing, it means that streaming in Japan has to be a thing.
Japan
which
is full
everyone
of-
else is like it's not.
Look, in a good way and a bad way, Japan is full of aliens who don't understand the internet. So like, fucking,
God damn it.
it's ridiculous.
Facts.
So yeah, this sucks. We have to like these two here who are watching 86 because Aiden isn't, but these two here who are watching 86, they have their sweet fucking time to wait until March to get up to where I'm at. But man, it's pretty good. 86 is certainly good. I'm excited for it to end, but not to end, but to see what happens.
I'm kind of annoyed. I was sort of waiting to just like binge the last 4 episodes, and now I know that's like not a viable strategy
I'm
right
kind
now.
of annoyed because I've been bothering you guys for weeks to catch up, and it's like, I'll do it soon. That's gonna happen soon.
Yeah, maybe it's a good idea that I'm skipping then.
All I want to do is fucking talk about shit that happened.
All right, fine. I'll binge up to the cliffhanger
No,
and
it's
suffer with
fine,
you.
It's fine. It's fine. Freeman, the real question is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
No. I gotta talk about Takagi first. 'Cause
Why?
This is a fucking saga. You guys need to hear about this
Oh
shit.
my god.
So, Teasing Master Takagi-san. This is one of those I like to just call it. It's the cute show. That's what it is. The whole point is it's 2 characters. They're vaguely in love with each other, and it's just cute. That's the whole point of the show. Season 1, Funimation has it. They dub it. They release it on Blu-ray. Netflix is like, yo, that show they released looks pretty good. Like we can market this to general audiences. So they go and they snatch season 2 out from Funimation. They release it. They don't buy the rights to season 1 or anything. So no one watches season 2 exclusively on Netflix because they're like, what is this show? Bombs. They're making a season 3. They're like, hey, Netflix, like, do you want season 3? They're like, no, this show bombed. We're not going to pay for season 3. So they go to Funimation like, hey, you guys have season 1. Like, would you want to buy season 3? And they're like, no. Unless we also have like Blu-ray distribution rights for 2, we won't buy 3. And Netflix is like, yeah, fuck that. We're not selling anything related to Takagi. You can't have it. So Funimation's like, all right, well then we don't want season 3.
Well,
So then Sentai Filmworks walks in and is like, hey, you guys gonna eat that? And picks up season 3. Each season of this show is on a different streaming platform. This was it. This was worse. This was worst case scenario in anime, and it's like this is going to be a bigger problem in the future when they start licensing individual shows like this, like not bundling seasons to individual distributors, and this blows. That said, I think I own all 3 of these platforms, so I'm not that mad, but it still is frustrating. Either way, that's causing quite a stir in the streaming community. Moving on to a fuck ton of announcements that came out either yesterday or in the last week. But the first one is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon season 4? It had previously been confirmed with no date. I
can't believe this is getting a 4th season.
I know, because season 3 sucked. I can't believe they're continuing this. But like JC staff is like, hey, we're good at making bad anime. Let's do this. So they put out the poster for season 4 and they confirmed a 2022 release, which is cool because a lot of stuff that we thought was getting 2022s is now suddenly getting 2023 announcements, which is kind of weirding me out. Speaking of the next one, which, first of all, besides the 2023 announcement, I did not expect this franchise to ever get an anime adaptation. But for those who are unfamiliar with it, MF Ghost is a manga which is the canon sequel to Initial D. And it's getting an anime in 2023.
Yep. Let's go. Have you seen any of the promotional video for it?
I did. It's like it's not quite up to date CG.
It's not, but do you like how they added the new 86?
Yes, the whole premise is that he's driving a Toyota 86, or I forget what they called it. I forget what they called it when it came out here.
No, that's what it's called.
Wasn't it like the Scion 86 at first, and they moved it back to Toyota? At least in the US.
Originally, yeah. But this one, like, that is the model car.
Yes.
The 86.
Yes.
And
Apparently,
I'm like, look at this marketing. Look at this blatant Toyota marketing.
apparently the plot is complete bullshit because he's like beating Ferraris on courses where it's like just straightaways. So it's a little hokey. The trailer has me thinking they are not going to go with Eurobeat for this, and much like the most recent Initial D recap movies, they're just going to use like a normal soundtrack, which kind of sucks. But regardless, I'm excited. I like car anime, and there's only like 2 of them, so I will gladly watch the 3rd.
Don't they know that Eurobeat is like actually 60% of that show's like?
I know, like I'm pretty sure on YaTorrents, the most downloaded copy of that movie is the version where someone just edited in the original Initial D soundtrack and edited out the music they used in the movie. Like it's so much of what made that show good. Like you go and you watch, what's it called? Long Gone Midnight. The one about the guys just like literally just racing down the freeway with each other. And just the way the tone, it just feels like some like shitty Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift knockoff. Like
it was.
Yes, pretty much. It has that tone to it. Whereas like if you watch Initial D, thankfully we have a great way to compare it. You watch the original Tokyo Pop dub, which they put with just like generic rock music, and then you go and you watch the superior Japanese version with early 90s Italian disco music used over these race sequences, and you realize that aesthetic is what makes Initial D watchable in the first place. I don't know if that was a controversial take or not. What do you think, Tyler?
Nah, just give us our Eurobeat, okay?
For real.
What we
Anyway,
want.
moving on to the next announcement I wasn't expecting, mostly because David Production is supposed to be working on JoJo right now. And it's kind of up in the air what the fuck is happening there. But they announced that they are remaking classic franchise Yurusei Yatsura. I have not watched this show, but for anyone who has watched this particular genre of girl falls out of the sky onto main character and now she's his waifu. Like this genre, the Ah My Goddesses, the Tony Kawas of the world, they started with
Hey,
this. This is
we don't know
this
that.
is the
We don't know
yes,
Tony Kawa's
yes,
from the moon.
fuck you. Yeah, she came from the moon. Anyway, this show is the progenitor of that genre, and it had an old anime, but like you see the main character, you've seen her in anime memes and gifs before. This is ancient. I'm excited that David Production is going to touch it because the last franchise that they revived was JoJo, and they did a stellar job. So I'm looking forward to this remake. They did confirm 52 episodes, and it will start in 2022.
Jesus.
Which if JoJo is still going to be 39 episodes, leads me to believe it's going to be like beginning at the end of 2022.
Can I
Unless
say
they're
how
going to
crazy it is to hear a show get announced for 52 episodes and it feels like every single show these days is no more than 26?
I know. The last time we got a show going for was it 52? I think it actually went for 60 something, but it was when Fruits Basket was being remade. Even then, they could not do continuous week to week for 52. They're like, we're gonna do 26, we're gonna take a break, we'll come back for 12, we'll take a break, and then we'll come back for 12
Yeah,
more.
how many
Which is
years
like,
do you think it is until this show finishes, Freeman?
if it's 52 continuously, exactly 1 year. But like David
So
Production
2
is not
years, got it.
David Production so far up until now, like they've done 39 episode continuous productions for like the last 3 seasons of JoJo. Actually, hold on, how much? Yeah, it was something like that. Point is, they're one of the few studios that like shows that potentially they can do it outside of like Toei Animation or Studio Pierrot or any of the ones who do like the weekly Shonen Jump shows. I have confidence. That said, I don't think this is an action franchise. They don't have to worry about like crazy sequences. So it might actually be an easy show to do animation wise. Anyway, last 2 things got to get out of here. Irregular Magic High School is getting a new season. I'm probably out of this franchise. I know, Aiden, I know you're a fan of this one, but like after the last season, it's just like season 1 had the cool gimmick of they don't know how overpowered the main character is, but now that I'm in season 2, it's like everyone knows how powerful the main character is. So it's kind of lost a little of its twist to me. So I'm not really enjoying his just let me be a magic detective because that's the only way to balance the character. Either way, new season's happening. Everyone who likes it, get hype. Supposedly it's really good.
Hell yeah, let's go.
And then the last one on here, which I know we talked about in our Facebook chat the other day, but the quintuplets movie got confirmed for May 20th. Means jack shit. It means jack shit for me and Tyler because there's not going to be an English release for this shit. We are going to have to wait for the Blu-ray to come out in Japan before there's any hope of watching it. But it means that the day where we can start hoping is May 20th.
The day we could start hoping.
Anyway, that's it for the Weeb shit.
Upsetting.
Woo. And then just because we're running a little long and we started a little late today.
We could speed run this last part.
But yeah, let's blast through some watched and played. This is mostly just I did this a while ago, but I wanted to throw it on here. So I was watching Sakugan, the anime. It was basically Made in Abyss meets Gurren almost. / what was the other show you named, Friedman? It was there was another show that you told me it was kind of similar to.
Oh, Decadence, the one I'm going to talk about a little bit later.
Yes. And honestly, the first this seems to be a pretty common feeling from me reading spoiler threads on our anime occasionally, but the first episode of Sakugan was really good, and the show did not deliver. I dropped this at episode 6 because episode 6 was was super poorly paced, and felt crazy rushed. I'm just saying I dropped it because it ended just a week or 2 ago. And I saw a lot of people on the subreddit were like, yeah, it really wasn't that good. It was okay. Or most people basically saying it definitely didn't deliver on the premise of episode 1. So if you watched episode 1 and thought it looked great, then definitely consider dropping it because it does not seem to hold up. But yeah, it wasn't incredible. It wasn't the worst, but it just wasn't good enough to hold my attention. the only other show that Val and I finished together, because it's the only show that came out in time. We didn't get to watch Paladin because it was going to come out on New Year's, and I'll talk about it next time. But Blue Period, Netflix's anime about a kid who sees a piece of art and suddenly wants to be an artist. It was, I think I gave it a 7 on my anime list. It's animated well. And it's a really cool story, and it definitely, I could see it relating to people who went through art school or who wanted to get into art school, or kids who got into art in high school suddenly out of the blue. I could absolutely see this connecting with them really strongly. But for me, the early pacing felt really fast, and it feels like there's a lot more going on than there actually is. Like, there's a lot of interactions with like other characters and stuff, but they're just not. I don't want to say it's not relevant, because like there's only one plot point at the end of the day that matters, but like none of these characters outside the main character go through like a lot of development, really. They kind of act like they might be, but they really are pretty consistent the whole time. And then there's like a side character who's the only other person you get the point of view of outside the main character, and that story, I'm sure, is relevant to people and is not bad and is pretty depressing, but they drop it like multiple episodes before the end, so it doesn't feel like it was super necessary. It just kind of felt like it padded things out a little, and they wanted to just tell a different story at the same time as the main character's story. I really don't know, so overall it was good. And like I said, if you're an art student or ever wanted to do art or anything, this definitely will resonate. But it was good. It was definitely better than Sakugan.
Interesting. I'm looking now what studios worked on this, because it was a joint effort between a studio that usually doesn't lead their own shows, Studio Doga Kobo, who's known for doing cute girls doing cute things, and then JC Staff, who's known for doing bad anime. So this is a weird collaboration I'm looking at right now.
Well, it sort of reasonably worked. And like I said, for people who it resonates with, they would definitely rate it better than I did. It just... Excuse me. Like I said, the early pacing felt really all over the place to me, so... Yeah.
Gotcha.
You're up next, Freeman.
You can talk about Blue Period yet?
You just did.
What?
Oh, sorry. Were you still talking about... Did you jump to Blue Period? I thought you were talking about this entire time.
Oh my god, am I...
Sorry, I looked away to research all the studios involved in Sakugan, and I didn't think you changed topic. Oh my god!
I was like, I dropped Sakugan. By the way, Blue Period's pretty good.
I thought you were talking about Sakugan this entire fucking time. I take back my statement about the studios involved in it. Blue Period is a completely unrelated studio. I don't want to factually incorrectly represent this. Oh my god! All right. I thought that entire thing was about Sakugan. I missed the transition in the middle. All right.
I mean, Tyler, Aiden, am I not crazy? I did at least say
No.
that I was.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm just making sure.
I'm going crazy. I
didn't want to not transition and freak everybody out.
Oh man, that was good.
That's what I get for not
Everybody,
listening.
don't get old, all right?
Yeah.
Don't get old.
Don't open a second tab. Listen to your friends. They're talking instead of fact checking. Who made this fucking anime? Anyway, a couple shows I finished that I'm going to talk about real quick. So first one is My Senpai is Annoying. I thought the show was going to be awful and ended up being a contender for anime of the season. This is one of these just literally just cute couple being cute kind of shows, except it takes place in the workplace. We're now in the revolution where everyone who used to pay for anime merch is now like in their 20s, 30s in Japan. So now they're like, hey, I don't want to buy high school girl shit. I want to buy a girl who looks like she's in high school, but she wears a suit and goes to work merch. And that's what My Senpai is Annoying is all about. Overall, good show, very cute. Did what it wanted to do in 12 episodes. If it gets a second season, so be it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. This was a fun little just watch through. Very low stakes show overall. Next one, I was so disappointed when I finally got to watch this, but Sora Era Utility, the sports anime about golf. I was so excited to see Crunchyroll got it. I was like, damn, they got episode 1 early, only to realize there's only one episode. They didn't get it early. They got it on release date. It was a 16-minute OVA and not a show like I incorrectly thought. So I was so disappointed when it ended. That said, this had so much potential. This could have been episode 1 of an otherwise good cute girls playing golf anime. but unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. It was just a one-off OVA, very well animated. If you ever played golf, go watch this 16-minute special. If you don't play golf, pretend this doesn't exist. And then Decadence. So Tim, just to clarify, the reason I laughed when you were like, "What's the show like?" Sword Art Online Gurren Lagann. I'm like, "What the fuck? What are you talking about?" And then I remember that's how I pitched the show after watching episode 1. So listeners, I remember talking about it after episode 1 and being like, "This is it. This is Gurren Lagann, the world of Attack on Titan, world of adventure, crazy." And I wish I had seen episode 2 before I told any of you any of that, because episode 2 opens with. Episode 2 is like, hey, see that show you just watched? What if it was inside of Sword Art Online? And that's this twist this show just immediately takes, where instead of being about this world of adventure they show you in episode 1, it's like, hey, so the Matrix was 200 years ago. Robots rule the world. If humans connect to the internet to play MMOs, how would the internet play an MMO? That's right, they would connect to humans. So humans are in this simulated space that's actually really meant to be a game space for programs who want to play an MMO, who then take over bodies there and play shit out. But the stories of this NPC girl who's like a real human having to like come to terms with, oh god, is my whole world just like a game for programs? And it's crazy. It's very weird. I understand why people like it. The show is a little too far out there in the second half. Overall, great showing from Studio Nut, my favorite studio to talk about. But it was decent. My friend hyped it up as a 10 out of 10, and I walked away going like, that was maybe an 8. It had some unique twists, but overall it felt like it was trying so hard to like layer on this big fat twist after episode 1. It kind of just like turned me off from what the show was actually trying to do. So no, if you like Gurren Lagann / Attack on Titan, maybe Decadence isn't the show for you. But overall, still an interesting experience. The last anime on the list for me, I'm not done with this, but I don't know if I talked about starting on the last episode, but I started Odd Taxi, I think since the last episode. I'm about a third of the way through. I may have spoiled the show for myself. I forgot that Crunchyroll shows the newest episodes first. So when I logged in and saw the first episode in my peripheral viewed and the next one unviewed, I'm like, oh, that's episode 2. Let me click on it. So I clicked on episode 11, and I was very confused. So I may have spoiled 1 or 2 details, but I'm on episode 4 now, and this is the best way I can put this is this isn't an anime. It's a cartoon where people happen to be speaking Japanese. Is the best way I can put it. It doesn't feel anime, and partially that's why my brother loved it so much. He's like, it's just a Japanese show that just happens to be about animated animals. I don't want to give any other details. It will spoil everything from episode 1. The whole show is a giant mystery that is just like slowly unraveling purely through dialogue. So if you don't like dialogue heavy shows, you might not like this. But if you can throw your phone off in the corner of the room and just pay attention to what everyone's saying, this show is. I feel like it's one of those shows where when you rewatch it, it's super obvious all the shit that's flying around, and you just have no idea what's happening your first watch through. So I'll try to bum rush that fast, because I know now Luigi's almost done with it, and he's going to want to talk to someone about it.
Nah, I ain't into that furry shit.
It's fine. But yeah, whatever. It's not fine.
Whatever.
Do not hate this show just because they are animals. There has been, like, I would argue that...
I'm just kidding. I like Zootopia. It's fine.
Not Zootopia. What was that other anime that was, like, very... It was very furry bait. I'm trying to blank on the name of it. Beastars. Like Beastars, while the main allure isn't anything, air quotes, sexy, there's still a lot of sex shit happening in that show. I'm a third of the way through Odd Taxi. Like, the word sex may as well not exist in the show, because that's not what any of this shit is about. It's just about people who, like, and them being animals is almost doesn't matter, because everyone is just human-sized. Anyway. I'm done talking about Odd Taxi. I do want to talk about something everyone here has seen but me. Except now I've seen it. So on New Year's Day, after an entire year of Val pestering me to just watch all the Lord of the Rings movies,
Yay.
I finally watched Return of the King.
Woo. Fucking time.
I kind of wish I watched it closer to watching 2. Because my first thought when we started was like, fuck, what was the last thing that was happening in this movie? But overall, great movie. I really liked it. Now I feel like I finally understand everything I've seen about Lord of the Rings. Like, I was joking to Tim that I was like waiting for a couple key memes I hadn't seen in the movies show up yet. And when they happened, it was just, Yes, now I know.
Yes, I have context for the meme.
Yes.
Now, if you want to maintain how great these movies are, don't watch The Hobbit, bro.
Yeah, I've heard it's kind of
We
whatever.
talked about that, yeah.
So I'm
I
probably not gonna watch it.
Unrelated, but or not unrelated, but not related to having watched. But one thing Val and I have talked about since literally we started dating was when we had started dating, their Hobbit movies were ending, and there have been fan edits for years that take all the Hobbit shit down to one like 2.5 or 3.5 hour movie from the monstrosity of like 6.5, 7 hours that all the movies put together was.
God.
So I've kind of thought about watching one of those before. Just to try one.
I do it.
But I'm not in a rush. I'd rather rewatch like all the extended editions now that I was with Val to show Freeman all the theatrical cuts of the Lord of the Rings, because that's for those at home.
That's right.
Wait,
You
is there
guys
one?
at home-
Is there one particular Hobbit cut you're talking about, or is this just ones you've heard
No,
of?
I like literally. I remember I have distinct memories of like when Val and I were dating, and I was still in Utah at school, reading a headline, and then like 2 days later reading another headline like, oh, there's another Hobbit fan edit. Oh, there's a Hobbit fan edit that like takes it down to this long, and one that takes it down to this long. And I didn't watch any of them, but we had talked about even then trying one out because we both were like, yeah, these movies are pretty terrible. But related to Lord of the Rings, for those at home, watch the theatrical cuts first. This is like The Office. Don't watch season 1. Viewing advice from Tim. Don't just watch the extended cuts of Lord of the Rings, because the theatrical cuts are better movies for flow, and pacing, but the extended cuts give you some extra good context and some funny extra scenes, so they are worth
Fam.
watching. What?
Watch those extended cuts. You want to be
Nope.
a real nerd,
Nope.
man. Whatever,
Watch
man.
Tyler.
Well, all I'm picturing is like angel devil on the shoulder. I'm sitting here agreeing with Tim. Val's like trying to kill Tim from the other side. Like,
No. Val agrees with me. Freeman.
why was she
is the
so
one
upset that I wanted to watch the theatrical editions then?
Because she's a
she
nerd.
wants to
She
watch
loves
the
it so
extended
much.
cuts.
Yeah, because like it's been less than a year since her and I watched the extended cuts together.
Even more less than a year when we first started this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she just wants to see the extended cuts again to see those extra scenes, but it's not because she thinks I'm wrong.
Gotcha.
The theatrical cuts are good. Tyler can attest because he's seen the extendeds. The extendeds add nothing that is necessary outside of like, there was one scene I described to you, Friedman. Fuck, there was one scene we were watching Return of the King. I was like, this is the one scene.
It was with Saruman, right?
Oh, Tyler, the Hand of Sauron. Or no. You're right. Saruman when he dies in the movie, in the extended cut, how that's cut from the theatrical. Like they just find the Palantir in the water.
Yes.
And that's cool because it gets rid of him, but also the movie ends without him ever coming up again, so it's fine.
Yeah. It's whatever.
Plus Aragorn.
I like those little things. Though.
Yeah, and then and the other one I think I mentioned both, Freeman, because I also mentioned the Mithril shirt shows up again because the Hand of Sauron comes out from the Black Gates, and it's like, haha, we found your guys, and then Aragorn cuts his head off, and it's sick. Remember, because I mentioned,
and it's sick.
Remember, because I mentioned when he's giving his speech before the battle at the gates, and he has blood on his sword, and I was like, that's why.
Yeah. Remember the exact shot where you're like, there,
Yep.
look. I'm like, oh, you're right.
Yep. But outside those two, like, there are other scenes that are just like, this did not help anything. But anyway, Return of the King, Freeman's finally there. And you've seen them all, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. I was worried.
Real quick before we transition off, does anyone remember what year that came out?
Like
2004?
2004.
Damn, that CG's holding up very well.
We all immediately tracked on for 2004. That was pretty good.
Yeah. 2004 is a good year. Halo 2 came out 2004. It's a good year. Stellar year.
All right, I'm done talking about my stuff. Who's got stuff they watched or played this week?
So I read another book, Red Sister by Mark Lawrence, because Michelle was reading it. It's okay. It's about this girl who is saved by these nuns, not the traditional like Catholic nuns. These are some like weird assassin nuns that you don't really learn much about until like later on in the book. But she gets saved from the gallows by this nun, and she gets brought into this convent to become an assassin. And that's more or less the book. It's her going to assassin school and getting into some shenanigans.
Would
It's
you say
like
she's in an assassination classroom?
I was trying to avoid that. I was really trying to avoid that, and I was like, man, I really hope they don't make this reference. And I should have
I'm
remembered where the
sorry,
hell I was.
I've never even seen the show, so I know the name.
Yeah, I resisted the urge, and I've seen that show.
I'm never gonna watch that show because of the stupid smiley face teacher looking guy.
Oh, you hate the show. There's no gun discipline in that show at all.
Oh, then even more so then not gonna. But I don't know. I may pick up the second book. Like I was telling Aiden, like it was like a hard 7 out of 10 for me, like or maybe even a 6. Like it wasn't that stellar, but like the thing that keeps me interested is like the world building. So I just told Michelle, I was like, hey, if the second book is good, then like, or if you like it, then I might. But like, if you think it's meh, then I'm probably just gonna start Eisenhorn next,
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
the second one.
Let's go.
Right.
My patience is limited, unlike my
Authority.
authority.
Dude, actually the best quote in the entire book. I didn't realize how early on I was gonna see that quote. Like, oh my god, like I think I marked down so with Kindle, right? Because Tim knows this, and I don't know, Aiden, if you know this, but whenever you highlight something, it gets saved to your highlights. And
Oh
I
yeah.
highlighted at least like 3 or 4 quotes from that book where I was like, yo, this is great, this is great, this is great. But that was on my old Kindle, so I can't like bring up because I read it on my old Kindle. For those of you at home, I had lost my Kindle, and or it might have gotten stolen. Honestly, I don't know, but I bought a new one, and like none of the stuff could transfer over, but it's whatever. But I highlighted a bunch of stuff. Like every time I come across a quote that I like highlight it. Oh my god! Speaking of which, in Red Sister,
You're one of
there's
those quote highlighters. I'm always wondering who's
I
doing it.
am.
Who are these 9,000 people quoting the same line in Last Witch every time I go through a
Oh,
new
it's
chapter?
me. Oh, it's me. I am one of those guys because I'm like, "Oh shit, this is so cool." But there's like one there's a quote from Red Sister. While I talk I'll bring it up because I actually have it like highlighted. I think I have it highlighted.
You
It
know,
was so fucking stupid.
you're making me want to pull out my Kindle and see what I have highlighted because I don't think it's that much. Keep going though.
Yeah, or no, I think I have to pull out the picture because I didn't highlight it. It was so bad. I should have highlighted it because it was so fucking bad though. It was so cringy. It had to do with the main character. It was like at the very end of the book. Um, but I started watching The Expanse because Michelle recommended it to me, and let me tell you, I watched the first 3 seasons, and it's a banger so far. Um, for you listeners, it's a show that's on Amazon Prime. Far distant future show. Uh, book or it's a show adaptation on like the book by James S.A. Corey, and it's about mostly about this ship crew that like gets caught in the events that pit Mars, the Mars, Earth, and like the outer asteroid belts to pretty much like go to war with each other, and like they're like at like the focal point of that. It's pretty cool so far. It's only gonna have 6 seasons, and it's currently airing the 6th season right
My dad
now.
also raves about it, so
It's good. I think you would like it, Tim.
probably would.
Yeah, at least from what I've watched so far, I think you'd enjoy it. I get like the shots and everything feel very Mass Effect.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously there's like no like aliens like that or anything like in the show, but like like how like the way like everything's kind of shot like where everything's not so entirely sleek, but like stuff is kind of new. Like
It's the same
everything has
kind
like
of
their own
sci-fi
thing.
aesthetic without being the same kind of plot and world, right?
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot. There's a lot of like, it's heavy sci-fi.
I'm
Like they go into a lot of detail about like how like zero gravity works, right? And like how like vacuum works and all that kind of stuff. And like they go into like rich world detail of like, oh, actually, Tim, because you and I remember with this, I was like, oh yeah, like they talk about this in Red Rising.
hmm
Like the people on Jupiter and like the people like on the outer belts, like they have like a more lanky looking figure because of
Yep.
the low gravity. They touch on that in this show.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there are people who are like, oh, who like want to be like Earthers or Mars, like they call them inners, who have like more gravity. So like they'll take like bone supplements like while they're growing, so like they don't have like a lanky structure and stuff. Like it's pretty
Interesting.
interesting. Yeah. So I mean, definitely I wanted to talk about it just because like I really like what I'm seeing so far. But I'll probably give an update like when I actually finish the show in its entirety.
Side note, I'm sad that apparently you can't just look at all the highlights you've done on Kindle from across the everything. You can
Is it per
only
book?
it's only per book.
Oh, really? Oh, because all of mine get sorted into one spot called your highlights.
Where? I don't maybe my Kindle isn't new enough.
Which one do you have?
I have
I have the
Paperwhite like
10.
2013 or some shit. I don't know.
Oh, no, it's because yours should have updated. I don't know.
Hold
That's
on. I
weird.
also
All of
haven't
mine
I
are
also haven't connected
cumulative.
it to the internet in like a million years, so
Oh, well then how the hell did you get Wave Kings?
well, I connect it every once in a blue moon, but I don't let me I also have to turn on my phone cuz I can't connect to Val's family's internet for whatever reason. I just
You
haven't
need, yeah,
updated
for
the
no
software.
reason.
Huh?
You know damn well why you can't connect to the internet in that house.
Whatever. It's fine.
I'm
Um
acutely aware of the internet struggle in that house.
I have the password. It's fine. No, but we can talk about this after or by the end, but
Okay. I
yeah, I don't
found the quote from the main character. It's not really a spoiler. It doesn't say anything. If anyone's looking to read this book, after she's talking about her backstory, right? She announces to her whole class, who's like in this life or death situation. She's like, "That's my secret and my shame. I'm Nona Gray. War is in my veins, and the screams of my enemies are music to me."
oof.
It is the most edge lord shit I have
Yeah.
ever read. It's so ridiculous.
That's
I was
that's a
legitimately
lot.
laughing out loud. It was so funny. It was so funny. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Cobra Kai season 4 came out. So far the character motivations, a lot of them don't make a lot of sense, but it's still cool. It still has my attention.
Is it
I
still
think
worth the watch for someone who hasn't watched any of Cobra Kai?
uh
Like, is the
let's see.
season so far worth catching up to watch?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. I think the main bad guy that they bring back uh from I think he's from Karate Kid 2. Um Spoiler, I guess, for those of you who've seen like cuz I haven't seen the all of the Karate Kid movies. I've only seen the first one and I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is coming from again, I think I've mentioned this on this podcast. I have seen Karate Kid multiple times. Did not like that movie. I highly enjoy this show though.
So interesting.
It is interesting. It's really weird actually. Especially since like you guys know me, I love 80s movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, I haven't I've realized like a lot of like old like sporting kind of movies, I guess, like or like that kind of stuff. Like I didn't like Rocky either. Like I thought Rocky was not good, and I know I get a lot of flack from that. And when I tell them like, yo, Rocky is just a weird character with like weird motivations and like he's going after this girl who's like also weird and like the on-screen chemistry just is awkward and it makes me feel uncomfortable. Like I don't like that. Like when on-screen like chemistry is really uncomfortable for me, like I just don't like it. Like that's why I don't like part of the reason why I don't like Blade Runner, right? Between Harrison Ford and what's her face? like the super popular replicant girl. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Shane something. Like that's weird. And I'm like, man, like this just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. I think so far season 4 is still worth it. Like there's still a lot of really good stuff here. And I'll also probably talk about it when I'm done. Have like 2 episodes left. And then I'm out of kind of a whim. I've been like trying to figure out what I wanted to play. Like I've been stuck in my house because everybody I freaking know under the sun has COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, hey, I'll find something to play. And Epic Game Store recently released the Tomb Raider trilogy, the new one, the 2010 decade of Tomb Raider trilogy. I don't like how I am referring to the 2010s decade.
It's
Do you mean
weird to
like-
word it that way.
Do you
It's
mean
weird.
last decade?
Shut up. Shut up. Yeah, because I was like, yo, Rise of the Tomb Raider came out like what, last year? Nah, 2019. Like, wow, this all came out within like a decade. Wow.
Tangent on that. I saw a meme the other day. It was like what you think 20 years ago looked like, and it was like Pac-Man, and it's like what was 20 years ago actually, and it was Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah, I hate
Oh,
And it
that.
was the most
God.
surreal fucking thing I've seen.
Hate it.
Yeah, that shit can die. Listeners, we're all old. Quote old.
Don't get old.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
What
repeat
if
it
we
again
do?
for the ones in the back. Don't get old. But I'm playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. I beat the first one when it was on Xbox 360. I'm playing through Rise. I will just say that it is fun. I think I'm getting towards the end now. Um, and for those of you who have been fans of Tim's channel for a long time, he has a Let's Play, which I didn't realize. I'm sure I knew at one point, but he reminded me. And turns out we both have very different play styles of how we've been going through these sections. Like poison gas. Literally the most busted shit in the entire
It's
game.
pretty busted.
It's so busted, like 5, 6 badass commandos coming through the door. I think Freeman watched me do this, or someone did. Yeah, I think Freeman, you did. They breach the door. I immediately kill all of them with a poison gas grenade. Like I'm sure this fight was supposed to take me like at least 5 minutes, maybe slightly less. It's like having a knock spell in D&D.
Oh my God.
Man. For those of you still interested in D&D stories, please let us know in the comments.
Oh boy.
Maybe we can.
We'll
Bro,
do a fourth
I-
episode of D&D stories.
I broke a game of D&D with Knock not 3 months ago.
Dude, it's the most busted shit. And like, you know what? They made it a level 3 for a reason. I think it's a level 3. Yeah. Yeah, knock
Yeah.
spell.
It might be
Yeah.
level 2.
All right. It's getting pretty late, and we've been going for almost 2 hours. I think we need to call
Hell
it here.
yeah, let's
Yep.
go.
So
Yeah, we can call it.
yeah,
I'm done
so-
with my stuff.
and with that, we can say goodbye to 2021. Now that we have released our official end of the year podcast, the year is officially behind us. So here's looking ahead to the craziness that's going to be 2022. And there's everyone's got a lot going on, but yeah, we'll see how everything pans out. This is the year the channel turns into more than just the podcast again.
No, listeners, we can change this. Just tell them to cancel all the Let's Plays. Be a podcast only channel. I know you want it.
So until next
Yeah.
time, thanks for listening, everybody. My name's Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
Just Tyler.
I'm Aiden.
We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening.